Hello, everybody. Welcome to this SonicLAB presentation. We're doing this remotely with Bulent from SynthMaster, who's at Ankara. How you doing, Bulent?
Good, Nick. How about you?
Yeah, great, thanks. This is quite a complex setup, so we're clinging on with the technicalities, but I think we've got it just about right. So what we're actually looking for at here is SynthMaster. SynthMaster is a plugin that's coming up to version 3. By the time you see this, this will be out of beta and into full release. SynthMaster is a really comprehensive synthesis environment. It has many different types of synthesis types, and version 3 represents quite a big upgrade to what it's previously been doing beforehand, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So, add a kind of a rough overview. What's your elevator pitch for SynthMaster?
Well, first of all, it is now a multi-layer synth. This is my default patch. Let me play it first. As you hear, it has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers, but actually we can go up to 16 layers for each patch. That wasn't previously available in SynthMaster 2, but now we have a multi-layered environment to build, to create presets.
And are those available sort of multi-timbrality? So you can kind of route them from different MIDI channels and
yes,
do
that is
splits
possible.
and layers and stuff, right?
Exactly. So for that purpose, we have actually different views in SynthMaster 3. This tab view, you can just browse, see the parameters of individual layers here. And if you go to the track view, you can actually edit similar parameters of the different layers. For instance, I'm going to shift click the zones button here, and I see the keyboard and velocity zones for all layers, and I can see them. I can see all of them here, and I can edit them separately like this. Or if I want to change voice parameters, I shift click the voice, and here under the voice settings, we have the input channel. By default, it's Omni, so it receives MIDI from all channels. But you can set it to like a separate channel for each different layer. And there's also a MIDI output, but by default it's off. You can even send the outputs of the sequencers and the arpeggiators in your layer to a MIDI channel. That's also possible. Yeah.
So it's quite a powerful performance instrument. I mean, this is new for SynthMaster. I mean, I suppose we should rewind a bit. I mean, this is one of the immediate new capabilities, but there are very many different synthesis types in it as well. It's not just a kind of basic subtractive synthesizer, right?
No, it is not. So this is the area for the sound generators or the oscillators. This is the filters or effects part. And then this area is for the modulation sources in each layer. And this area is for layer-specific sections like the routing, the layer effects. And then we have a sequencer for each layer. And on top of that, we also have a separate arpeggiator for each layer.
Right.
Yeah, so for the oscillators, I can add different types of oscillators. The basic oscillator is basically you can load single cycle waveforms, or you can create your own. Like I can easily draw a waveform shape like this. I can even change its spectrum like this. Or I can even apply, let's also make this free. I can even apply a filter to this single cycle waveform. This is a spectral filter, by the way.
Right.
So you can create four months like this, for instance. I'm just using freehand. And there's a special parameter here, key track. So you can change the key track.
Wow, I didn't see. I should add quickly that I've also done a patch flip video for this, which will be
Uh-huh.
coming out a bit later. I didn't even see this. I mean, this is how deep the thing is. I mean, the one thing that I found really impressive about it, even with all of this depth, there are
Uh-huh.
so many little nifty sort of UI tricks, and everything seems very apparent. You haven't skimped on the sort of visual feedback, so it's very easy to see where
Yes,
macros and
exactly.
modulations and things are going, so you can keep track of everything, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right. And I just showed the single cycle waveforms. The basic oscillator is also capable of playing samples or multi-samples. For instance, we have our factory library here, and we have different acoustic instruments. For instance, let me load an acoustic guitar. Let me turn off this filter first.
Right.
And if you click on this edit button here, you see the multi-sample. These are the individual sample regions.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and you can edit their sample properties here. Like you can loop them, or you can even use sliced samples. If you have some looped wave files, you can
Right.
actually slice them and play them as sliced loops. The
Right. So
SynthMaster
like
also
Rex, like the old Rex sort of file idea. So you've got right.
exactly.
Okay. I
And I'm
understand.
also planning to add support for Apple loops files, because I just recently learned that Apple has a special wave format called Core Audio format.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm
Does
also
that load? Is that like SFZ files, or is that? Can you load sort of if you created some multi samples of your own in other instruments? Is there a way to import those maps into this? Because I mean that would be
well,
very useful.
yes, actually, when you, for instance, if you save this multi-sample data, it is going to save as an SFZ. But the
Right.
thing is, the SFZ has way too many tokens or keywords. I mean, SynthMaster doesn't support all of them. I mean,
Right.
SFZ is very, very complex. But
Right. But it
basic
still
region
mean
information,
yeah.
like the sample playback direction, the key track transpose, and loop information, crossfade. I also introduced crossfades.
Right.
This is out of the SFZ specifications, and also the node triggers, like does this region trigger during attack or release, and round
Right.
robin, and these are all supported. I
Okay.
mean, these tokens or these keywords in SFZ are supported, basically.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, that's just aside from the massive amounts of synthesis potential, because you've got lots of filter types, function generators, and the new thing that I see there as well, this kind of modular routing, which is that new in SynthMaster 3?
Yes, that is new in SynthMaster 3. Before, we only had a semi-modular routing in SynthMaster 1 and SynthMaster 2. And here, let me show you a preset from Nori Ubukata. He's the master of FM synthesis, by the way. And I think he also built some of the original DX7 factory presets. So let's load some of Nori's presets. For instance, this bass sound. This has like a 6 operator FM combined with a filter. Or let me load some of his keyboard sounds. Let's go to the routing tab here. You see how
Right.
many
My
modules he
goodness.
used?
Yeah.
Let's load another one.
So these sound a very, very classic, kind of almost 6-op DX
Yes,
type sound.
exactly.
So those are possible, right? Yeah.
Yes. Well, most of the 6 operator, most of the algorithms in the DX7 is possible. There are some algorithms which actually use multiple feedback within multiple oscillators, like 2 or 3 oscillators. Those algorithms, there are 2 or 3 of them, they are not possible.
Right. Okay.
But but single oscillator feedback, like this operator here, this sign here shows that it's fed back to itself.
Yeah.
Single operator feedback is possible in FM.
Right. Okay. Maybe we could have another couple of sort of. Have you got another couple of complex kind of big synth patches, just so people can get a flavour of what this is capable of? Because I mean, this is just scratching the surface. Honestly, from the patch flip that I did, it was just really kind of blew my mind a bit.
Let's see. There were some sequences. Let me load some sequences. It's my bad. I didn't prepare my favorites.
That's all right. I throw that one in.
Find some.
How many presets does it come with, by the way?
For instance, this one is a sequence by Demis Helen.
Right.
Yeah. And here there are some. These icons are to show the larger pop-up screens. There are larger pop-up screens for arpeggiators or sequencers, so that you can edit the sequences in further detail, and you can zoom in and zoom out like this. Yeah. Okay. So you asked about the number of presets, right?
Yeah.
For SynthMaster 3, we are hoping to release with around 1,000 new presets. Right now we have about 800 presets, but we have at least 100 coming in the next week, hopefully. But by the end of the year, we will hopefully reach at least 1,100 or so, or 1,200. That's my goal. But aside from the new presets, SynthMaster 3 can actually load SynthMaster 1 and SynthMaster 2 presets.
Right.
So for instance, if I go to SynthMaster 2 here, since I downloaded all of my expansions for SynthMaster 2, as you see, I see all of my expansions here. Wow. And something we introduced recently, previously for SynthMaster 1 and SynthMaster 2, we added NKS support, native control standard support. And for that, we built many previews for presets. And later on, I said, hey, why don't we include this feature in SynthMaster 3? So basically, if a preset has a preview, when you are browsing through the presets, you see these play icons, okay? And if you move your mouse on the play icon,
you can preview them, right?
And it starts previewing. And you can, if you don't like this, you can turn off this feature, of course. I mean, that's because some users don't like this.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, this is possible. And for SynthMaster 2, we had around 4,400 presets. For SynthMaster 1, we have 2,000 presets.
Wow.
And yes, overall, we have right now 7,200 presets in our library. And another good feature that we added is, for instance, let me go to SynthMaster 2, Nori Ubukata, and both strings, and let me load this preset, art pop strings, and I just want to layer another preset with this one. For instance, this one, so I'm going to load this on a new layer. Yes.
Nice.
So if I go to the track view, now I have 2 separate presets here. And if for instance, what I can do is I can go to the zones here. And for the first one, it starts to decay from C3, and the second one, it starts to decay before C4. And then let me go to the voice tab, and for instance, let me change the pitch of the second layer. So you can easily layer presets like
this is the one thing that I noticed with the synth engine, because it's still, there's a lot of stuff to see, but for me, it really worked with my brain and how I think about things. All of these things are very easily accessible, it feels like to me, because quite often in stuff that's this complex, it's hard to find the things that you're after, but this seems very clear. I should also point out on the right-hand side, which you're not seeing at the moment, there's a really useful sort of set of animations and kind of almost like signal paths to show you what the modulators are doing.
You mean the real-time modulations?
That's really nice. Yeah.
Yes, when you play, the mod matrix here displays the real-time values of the modulation sources.
And no, I really appreciate that because it helped me kind of figure out what was going on.
Cool. So aside from these, I also want to show you two new oscillators we added with SynthMaster 3. The first one will be a virtual analog oscillator, and it should display under, where is it? Oh, all, yes. So there's a V analog, there's a new oscillator type called the V analog. So basically, previously, when I was generating waveforms or wavetables in SynthMaster, I was using single cycle waveforms. But this one, it's not using single cycle waveforms, and it's using line segments. Like I have two line segments here like this, and I can change their shapes. And this opens up really new possibilities. Let me first run the oscillator. For instance, this one is moving from the first shape to the second shape. There are two separate shapes, basically. And you can just morph between these two shapes. So this lets you create really... This lets you mimic analog oscillator behavior. For instance, to do stuff like pulse width modulation, and I know you like.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say that looks like pulse width, but it's with a sort of slightly unusual wave shape, which is very interesting.
Let me actually let's go to LFO1. Let's increase the LFO amount on these morph parameters. And the good thing is, I looked into the shapes of many analog synths, these guys, and I have some presets here, like the Andromeda pulse waveform. And so the pulse in Andromeda, for instance, starts like this at the minimum pulse width value, and at the maximum value, it becomes like this. So what you can do is you can just morph between them. And one thing I need to emphasize, this virtual analog oscillator, it causes aliasing because it's not using any sort of band limiting. So I introduced this quality parameter, and by default there's no oversampling, it's low. But you can turn on oversampling, like normal is ×2, high is ×3, and best is ×4.
Right.
I'm going to set it to normal. And there's also another global oversampling setting under here, settings, audio engine, and engine quality. And right now it's set to good. So this means 2 times oversampling. And And similarly, I can have ×3 or ×4 oversampling. And this is especially useful when you are rendering your track offline with within your DAW. And for offline rendering, SynthMaster uses these offline settings. And this is really important to get alias-free output.
Okay, interesting. I mean, the other thing that I thought was really neat as well, because well, before I get there, how many oscillators can you put in? Is there a limitation to the number of oscillators you could drop into in there?
Not oscillator. I'm going to say modules, not oscillators. Basically, each layer in SynthMaster 3 can have 16 modules. So by modules, I mean oscillators, filters, or there's also a wave shaper here, wave shapers. I mean, you can have up to 16 oscillators, modulators, filters, or wave shapers.
Right.
This
okay,
is the maximum number in a single layer. And similarly, you can have up to 32 modulation sources in a single layer.
It's one of those things because when you start, like, you know, programming and making a sound, it's that means you kind of basically don't run out of options. The other thing I really liked is the little gear wheel on each section. You can save kind of sub presets for that specific area, which you can then reuse.
Yes,
right?
that's how I actually loaded some analog presets here. Like let's load MS-20 pulse. Yeah, and you can even use your mouse wheel on this icon here to load different presets like this.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's also possible.
Neat. What else is new? I did notice I really like the effects as well. Is there new effects in this one, or
no, not yet. But I'm going to show you the granular oscillator and the wave shaper effect here. Those are new. So for the granular oscillator, let me just replace this with a granular oscillator, and let's load a vocal sample. Let's load, we have lots of vocal samples here. I'm going to load a multi-sample actually. KV331, vocal, female. For instance, let's load this. Okay, I'm going to play within this range. So I'm going to turn off the filter. So basically the granular oscillator, first of all, just like the other oscillators, it has up to 16 voices. These voices are for oscillator unison. So each oscillator can have its own unison. And we also, as opposed to global unison, we also have global unison here. But I don't advise using that because it consumes much more CPU. So let me not divert. Let's go back to the granular. So I'm going to start off with a single voice for the granular oscillator. And let's start with 4 grains. You can limit the number of grains. Let's add an envelope to modulate the position of the, let's have an attack, sustain, and then release. Let's have a linear attack and linear release. Now I'm going to increase the grains, now maximum grains to 16, and I'm going to add some randomization. This is the randomization page for the granular oscillator. Let's randomize the position, the grain length, grain start, and the detune, and grain pan, and the volume.
Well, that's interesting. That actually just sounds like multi-tracked.
And this was just a single voice. Now I'm going to increase the number of voices. So basically, each oscillator has 4 voices times 16 grains. It's going to run 64 separate samples at a time. It's going to render all of those 64 samples. And we have the voices tab here, as in the other oscillators. Let's increase the detune spread, the pan spread. Let's increase the detune curve. Let's increase the release here. And let's add some position spread parameter for the position, length, and the start. And the grain oscillator also has a grain envelope. You can also edit this grain envelope, like you can edit the attack time, the release time. There's also attack slope and release slope like this.
Wow.
And you can even actually apply key tracking to this envelope. So when you press a different key, the window, the envelope length changes actually. So yeah, this is so much for the granular oscillator. And next I'm going to add a wave shaper. This is a new effect actually we introduced in SynthMaster 3. Let's put it after the oscillator, before the filter. Let's drop it here between the filter and the oscillator. So basically the wave shaper has different types of algorithms here, as you see. Let's go through them. Let's use the mod wheel to increase the drive. And let's cycle through these. Yeah, I mean, they are distortion algorithms basically.
Yeah,
And
interesting.
you
But
can
like
also,
quite a lot.
yeah, you can also have a custom curve. Like you can make it unipolar. By default, it's unipolar, so that the negative side is a symmetry of the positive side here. But you can make it also bipolar or asymmetric, and you can just draw your curve yourself like this. I mean, this is also possible. Yeah, so these are the new oscillators and the effects that we added. There are also other. I'm sorry.
It's so deep. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
but
is.
like I said, it's deep, but it's not. I mean, it's easy to get overwhelmed when there's this much under the hood. But like I say, it sort of feels quite accessible, which was the thing that surprised me.
Thank you. Well, I mean, I did my best to keep things really simplified, because one of the main complaints we got from our users is the user interface, the user experience is difficult. That's what they were saying. So yeah, I did my best to keep everything simple, keep it simple, short. Yeah. I tried that.
Okay, well, maybe is there 2 or 3 presets you'd like to just show us that maybe demonstrate some of those things, so we can maybe discuss that. I mean, like I say, I have done a patch flip video for this, and where I go through a bunch of stuff. There are a legion of sounds and sound types, and as I say, the effects, while not updated in this version, sounded great to me. So I particularly like the phaser, actually, which I noticed that people use quite a lot in some of the presets.
Well,
even in just a little subtle amount, it's got a real nice little movement.
Let's see if, well, yes. This is our sound designer and my dear friend Big Tone, Nico Hertz. He's from Germany, and he's a very acclaimed sound designer, and he uses the phaser a lot. Yeah. I think he used phaser. He used the pitch bend to modulate the phaser effect. Let's cycle through his presets. Yeah, another one using the phaser.
Oh yeah, that's what that sounded a bit like left field to me. I thought that was nice through.
Yeah, I mean, he uses phaser all across the space. Let me go through his pads. Actually, they are really powerful pads. Let me start with this one. This one sounds like also a string machine.
I think I found this one in my flip. Oh yeah.
Another one.
There's that phaser again.
Oh yes, it is. Exactly. Yeah, it's the phaser. Let's see. Yeah.
What I really like as well is across the top of the keyboard, you've just got these sort of common modulation sources or modulation amounts that you can just drag to, because just picking up velocity or aftertouch
Yeah,
or
you can
whatever, you can
drag
just
and drop
drag it,
them. Exactly.
drag it to the parameter, and there you go. It's fairly straightforward.
And there are visual indicators. If this source has destinations, then it is displayed. It is highlighted as you see, as opposed to the other guys. So you understand right by looking at you understand that it has sources. And if you click on any source like this, here on the mode matrix, you see the targets for that source. That's also a useful feature for the users when they are designing their sounds.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, the UI animation with a complex instrument like this is really key, so you can see where things are going and what they're doing. I think that's a very powerful and probably quite difficult to implement or spend. It's the detail of that makes a big difference, and the animations of the filters and all the waveforms. It's a very powerful. Did I see you could turn that on? I mean, I'm guessing the thing is with this synthesizer, it has a lot more capabilities. I mean, is it the sort of modern CPUs that have just allowed you to kind of get a bit more adventurous with the things that you can now achieve with SynthMaster?
Well, I can proudly say that SynthMaster is very CPU efficient. I mean, the CPU percentage you see here is for a single core, actually, for a single CPU core. Right. So I'm running with oversampling. So it is ×2 oversampling, and yet the CPU usage is like 10% of my single core for 4 voices.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the key, isn't it?
Yes.
Because, I mean, synthesizer, the optimization phase is the one that's... So is the hardest. Are you done with optimization, or is that still happening while we're recording this?
Well, when I'm writing my code, I always... my first priority is optimize first when you are writing your code. Yes.
Interesting.
I don't optimize later. No, I don't do that. And we also have vectorization support, like for code that can be vectorized, where we can use the vector instructions in Intel or ARM processors. Yeah, we try to do that. And I already did that. And for I also wrote my own cross-platform vector library where the same instruction maps to the correct instruction in Intel or ARM, because we have to compile for ARM as well. Wow. So yeah, I mean, optimization is my first priority when I'm writing my code.
That's a really interesting approach. So this is available, well, while people are watching this, it's available now. Is there going to be an intro offer price? I noticed that
there will be an introductory price, yes. Yeah. For the first 2 weeks of September, it's going to be 30% off. So the MSRP is $179, so it's going to be $125 for 2 weeks, yeah.
Right, and that comes with all those presets, and well, actually, there are extra preset packs that you can buy via online shop. Is that how it works?
Let me clarify. Yeah, it comes with SynthMaster, the new 1000 SynthMaster 3 presets, and also SynthMaster 3 actually includes SynthMaster 2 by default, because it is the successor. It is the new version of SynthMaster 2. So those factory presets from SynthMaster 2 are already included. So basically, you start off with 4,000 presets.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Which is a good job. You've got this kind of tagging and kind of filtering, because that's key when you're dealing with that sort of stuff.
That was a big hassle, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, but it's important, particularly with this number of presets. So it's available for Mac and PC plugin version. Is there plans for a standalone version? Because it seems to me this could
Well,
really work.
there is a standalone version
Oh,
on
there is.
Windows, but not Mac yet. Yes, and we also have iOS versions of our products. We already have SynthMaster 1 and SynthMaster 2 on iOS, and hopefully around Superboot 2025, we're going to have SynthMaster 3 working as an iOS app.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes. Well,
I guess because those processors are just so powerful as well now. That
right.
You can kind of, yeah.
And one thing I think I can brag about is I built my own user interface framework, which is cross-platform. So, I mean, it's not difficult for us to come up with iOS versions of our software.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well done. I mean, it's an impressive thing. So, I mean, I don't know how big your team is, but I get the sense that
we are a very small team.
It's very interesting when you have small teams of programmers or small product developers, because you just kind of, you can do your own thing. You're not kind of
exactly.
designing by committee, so you could just get on with it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, that's the good thing about being a small team. I mean, we are actually, our core team is only 3 people. It's me and my brother Levent. He's also helping me with coding and customer support. And we have our product manager and sound designer Gerçek Dorman. I mean, this is who we are.
Wow.
Yes.
Well done.
And we also have our sound designers, of course. We have, I mean, we have at least, like for SynthMaster 3, I mean, we worked with these guys, Ahin Zaev, Arksan, Bigson, Cyprian, David, Demis Helen, Natlife, Nori, Selçuk, and we have more guys coming, hopefully, next week.
It seems to me that maybe SynthMaster is a bit of a kind of a hidden secret to a degree. I wasn't aware. I mean, I know the name, I know it, but I just hadn't really been exposed to it before this. So I encourage people to check it out. Is there a free demo that people can download? Or
yes, of course. We have free demos of our software on our website.
Bulent, thank you so much for talking to us. It's been a real pleasure.
Thanks so much, Nick, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you so much.